Hey guys, Loman02, currently getting ready to do Cube Draft number 12. So, looks like we're starting at 3 players. Quick pause, guys, and once the queue fills up, we will get our recording on. Alright guys, we're live and waiting for our pack to load up here on MTGO. And we have a Mox Sapphire, which is probably going to be the pickup, but what else is worth consideration in this pack? There's a Counterspell, which someone might first pick. I think it's very committing to first pick it. I think if Mox Sapphire were not here, I think I actually don't mind Strip Mine first pick, because it can go into a lot of decks. And you could possibly wheel the Stud of War, which this card goes very well with Student of Warfare. But I think it's an open pick. We just take Mox Sapphire. I mean, if we play an aggro deck, it's still just mana ramp. If we end up playing control deck, it's fine. Obviously, in combo, it's a little bit better. There aren't a lot of great combo cards in this pack. I'm just looking through it. I mean, Ewit can combo with some things. Baleful Strix is just good filler and like multicolor combo because it's kind of like Wall Blossoms. Just it trades up pretty well if there's like a creature aggro matchup, and then it can also just buy time, draws you to a card. So pretty strong. Reanimate, interesting, but I don't think you reanimate. So I think Entomb is one of the few cards that I would commit to early and try to build around to play Reanimator because I think it's just that good. Tangle Wire's kind of bad in Cube. I mean, it goes in a couple decks, but pretty clear Mox here. All right, let's look at this pack. Chandra Flamecaller is not the kind of Planeswalker I tend to be into. There's a Tundra, which is very strong here if one wanted to stay open. There's Muldrifter, which is okay. Duress, later in the Cube, if you're in like a Reanimator combo deck, basically, it tends to be very good. It's kind of hard to read any signals this early, so generally it's just best to stay open and see what kind of signals are coming your way. I don't mind taking Tundra here. Brightling is a playable in the Death and Taxes deck. So is Tidehollow Sculler. Pyromancer is always just a fine card. I tend to find, unless you're in red deck wins, it tends just to make enough blockers to bide you some time into more draw steps. I'm not going to take Muldrifter here. I'm going to take Tundra and just stay the most open. And we don't really know what we're doing yet. Alright, so there is a Sulfuric Vortex, which tends to be a sign that red deck wins is open, and there's a Goblin Guide in the pack. Which card do I think is more likely to wheel? I don't know. I have to think about it a little more. Sulfuric Vortex is more probably likely to wheel, because it's a double red requirement, and there's only really one deck that wants it. Goblin Guide could be played in a few more decks. Could also take Misty Rainforest. Bramaz is not horrible, but then you have to ask yourself, what do you wheel out of this pack? There's plenty of stuff we'll wheel in the first couple picks. But honestly, here, I think I'm actually going to take the Goblin Guide, because I think as far as power of cards go, there's two, these are some of the two best cards in Red Deck Wins, and if Vortex went this late, maybe this deck is open. And I'm only missing out on a Misty, which is a decent miss out on, but I'm not missing out on a ton here. Alright, so this pack is dry for red cards, if we wanted to continue to try to go that route. There's Land Tax, which is strong in the White Weenie deck, and then there's Sword of Fire and Ice. You can also take Dark Slick Shores, but I haven't been seeing a ton of great black cards to really push me into that domain. Pyretic Ritual, really just the best in combo. Tireless Tracker, pretty fair. Ugin's a good card. I think I'm going to take Sword of Fire and Ice here, just to remain open. I mean, it's either that or the Dark Slick Shores to stay open. So I'm going to do this and see if I think aggro is going to be open. Aggro tends to be open. Let's be honest. And if white aggro's open, Land Tax will wheel. And if I was thinking red aggro is open, then something else will wheel. So someone else is in red, I think. I'm not giving up on anything red in this pack, so I think I'm going to take Mirran Crusader. Alright, so we're going to waffle back. Well, I don't have to waffle back over. We can either take Winter Orb or Abbot of Carol Keep. I think the white deck is more open. Recruiter the Guard is a fine card. And I think Winter Orb's probably more powerful. I'm going to take it and try to go into white. Alright, so there's Silverblade Paladin and Phyrexian Revoker. The Revoker is less likely to wheel. There are 9 cards in this pack. It's possible that the Sword or... Well, Kiora will probably wheel. Kiora is probably the card that wheels, but I'm going to pick up Phyrexian Revoker because I do think the card's very good. It's a great aggro card. It just, it's an aggro control card. It just buys you time, shuts off their mana artifacts if they have any. We'll put Tundra in the sideboard. I'd be happy to play Sapphire in this deck, I think, as well. White tends to be a little more challenging with Sapphires, with Moxen in general, because it has a lot of double-costed white cards. But one thing I've noticed in this cube is they've cut a lot of the double white cards, so you don't have like Knights and stuff like that anymore. You have, they've cut the 2-mana double white cards. You still do have like not Relic Seeker, Leonin Relic Warder. All right, Council's Judgment is great, unconditional removal, but Kythian, Hero of Akros, is one of the premier 1-drops. Mother of Runes is probably the most notable one, like probably the best. And then there's the Stud. The Stud came around, so I mean our deck's open. I'm sorry guys, this will be the 4th or 5th time I've captured this deck on my site. Hopefully we can do well with it. I have yet to go less than 2-1, but there's always first. We could just bolo this one and just get blown out, and go 1-2 or 0-3 even. But I think, in general, if in red I think is getting sucked up a little bit. Like the Goblin Guide, well, I do think a decent pick there, just based on what was in there. I mean, we had the strongest wheel out of the pack, and we could at least at that point in time tell a sign for the first four chairs at the table or half the table. So I think it was smart to kind of make that shift there. Blue is definitely getting sucked up. Like we could have tried to jump into some sort of blue deck, but we would have been fighting really hard to get somewhere with it. And I think we would have ended up basically in like a red splash blue very lightly deck. But we still have the remainder of the wheel. Like Stud of War only went through one iteration, so there could be someone 2 seats down that saw Stud of War. I doubt it, and said, "Hey, I'm going to pick up this Bremaz and this other good stuff." Like Bremaz would be a great card I'd still love to have for my deck. I don't know if I'll get that, but it'd be kind of cool if we wheeled him. We might too, because he's more realistic. The Imperial Recruiter, not the Imperial Recruiter, the Recruiter of the Guard, I think is much less likely to wheel. I'd play that card. It's just at the end of the day, the problem with Recruiter of the Guard, as great as it is, it's 3 mana for a 1/1. Okay, so I tend to like. I think I'm gonna take Brightling. If I had some fixing, I may jump into Tidehollow Sculler because I think the card's very good. Well, I don't know here honestly. Like I think it's not Spear of Heliod. All right. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have trouble. So the thing that went through my head, I didn't explain it very well. I don't think we're going to have trouble picking up 3s, and I don't think Brightling's a great 3. Like, I think Brightling, the only reason it really works, and no one's really even playing it anymore in Legacy, Death, and Taxes, is because of Aether Vial. And Aether Vial, it tends to be okay because it can win races. It's good in the mirror because it wins races. You can return it in response to removal. It tends to be fine. And actually, it's a very good blocker for Umezawa's Jitade up creatures because you just bounce it after the block. And like you can do a lot of cool things with it in like the mirror match in Legacy. But I tend to think it's really at its best in like weird creature matchups and in a deck where you can play it at instant speed off of an Aether Vial. Aether Vial, I'm pretty sure, has been removed because I have yet to see it in the cube. Land Tax has not, however. That's a very strong wheel. So our deck's open, and it's funny. I conversed with a couple other folks who are cube aficionados. And, they're always like, dude, like, White Weenie and Red Deck Wins are always open in Vintage Cube. And, like, it used to not be the case with Red Deck Wins, like, but White Weenie, I agree with them, is, like, always open. Mana Tide, yeah, I mean, so, like, I think we made the right call. This next pack's going to be interesting, because this could be the one that has our 3-drop, the Silverblade Paladin. I doubt it'll be, I think it'll be Kiora. Kiora's my guess, because she's really not that good. Oh, wow. Yeah, it was either Kiora or Silverblade, and I was, like, hoping that someone would be like, oh, Kiora, and they could play it, like, because if there's a playable for someone, they'll take it over, a non-playable. But Silverblade's obviously, I think it is a better card. All right, so there's Mana and there's Mother of Runes. Like, Mother of Runes has a much higher chance. Well, shit. So, like, I don't have a ton of double mana requirements. Mana Crypt is such a high upside card, though. I have a Phyrexian Revoker. I have a Sword. So, this is really tough for me, guys, because I do, like, here's the deal. Like, if there was only a Mother of Runes in this pack and not an Adanto Vanguard, I would slam the Mana Crypt and try to wheel the Mother. But what I'm basically committing to if I take Mana Crypt is that I'm going to get Adanto Vanguard back. Because even if both these cards are still in the pack, I'm only going to get one of them. Adanto Vanguard will wheel. Like, it will. 100% of the time, it's going to wheel. And right now, if you look at my mana cost, like it helps me at 2, but like at 3 it really doesn't because I have a bunch of double requirements. So I don't think Mana Crypt is correct here because I think it's still going to be tough to double spell with this deck. Although it does combine pretty well with Armageddon, but you really don't want to cast Armageddon early. You want to cast it like mid-game, like because it's not that good if you cast it too early. All right, Path to Exile is premier removal, like some of the best. I mean, it's not the best. Like that's Swords to Plowshares. And in some cases, Path to Exile is actually worse than Unexpectedly Absent, which I hope I'm going to pick up later. But there's a chance we wheel the Path to Exile too. Smuggler's Copter is going to be the card I pick here because this card is it's so impressive. It's unwrathable. It's not a creature when you don't want it to be. It attacks for a ton for very little mana. I have a lot of creatures to activate it. I have land tax to turn land cards into real cards with it. Like it's such a good card that I think it's very hard to pass up on. All right, and this is kind of like our first just don't have a card pack. I do think I'm going to take Disenchant. I don't think it's Angel of Invention because I think it'll wheel like a 95 to 100% of the time. Lightning Greaves is really only good in like the Martello shop style deck. All right, so pretty easy Remorseful Cleric. Wouldn't mind wheeling Anguished Unmaking because if we can pick up some fixing, I do actually want to run the Tidehollow Sculler. I think the card's very strong. Like Dark Confidant, Tidehollow Sculler, and like maybe Vindicate are like pretty decent splashes in this deck. But Remorseful Cleric's pretty sweet because, the reason I like this kind of card is because it's a good body for the rate. It's a 2/1 flyer, which is good. It allows you to promulgate your primary win condition, which is damage. But it also has like a half card effect where you can just like house like Yawgmoth's Will decks, like just be like, nope, you're not doing that, buddy. And just bamboozle their entire graveyard and be like, sorry, can't do it. So that's kind of the taxi side of this deck as well, And right now we're kind of lacking some of that. We have Phyrexian Revoker, we have Winter Orb. We do not have a Geddon. We already have a Sword of Fire and Ice, Sword of Feast and Famine. Yeah, I'm not going to take Angel of Sanctions over Sword of Feast and Famine. I'm going to sideboard Sword of Feast and Famine. And there's Geddon. What else could we play in this pack? I mean, Soulfire Grandmaster may wheel. I could play Lodestone Golem in this. I could. I don't really care to. Like, if I may play it over Soulfire Grandmaster, but there are better 4s for this deck. Armageddon is, like, the top 4. Like, you really want this card. And, like, the way the first pack went, like, I was pretty sure. There's not a lot of decks that want Armageddon. It's like this one, and, like, there could be, like a very mana rock rich deck, like the sort of deck that plays Mana Crypt, which, getting this now, like, and having had the opportunity at a Mana Crypt, it may seem suspect, but we knew it was something that would probably happen. But the biggest issue I have with Crypt is, it does allow me to slam a Geddon early and allows me to leave some mana behind early, or after Geddon. A lot of my cards in the 3 spot specifically are double white cards, so, at most it probably facilitates a turn sooner cast off of them, but its double cast requirements or its double cast capabilities are a lot lower. So I was saying I like Bob for this deck if we get the fixing. I'm not going to bank on the fact that we may or may not get fixing. How many cards are here? All right, there are 9 here, so we could wheel a card, and Bob could wheel. Runaway Steamkin will wheel probably, or maybe Sensei's Divining. No, someone take that Sensei's Divining Top over Bob. Runaway Steamkin is probably the card that'll wheel. I think Coercive Portal is really bad. A lot of people love it though. I think it's very good in very few decks. There's Concealed Courtyard. I'm not going to take Hangerback Walker. Amiri Angel is a pretty iffy 4-drop. I'll play it if I don't have enough castables or enough playables. Concealed Courtyard obviously worse than like Godless Shrine or Scrublands, or a Black-White Fetch. Like Marsh Flats would be enough, I think, for me to justify playing Tidehollow Sculler. Like, I'd probably do it then, because I do like having discard in this deck. And if I could have multiple ways to cast discard, I'll start taking things like Inquisition and Thoughtseize and Duress. Duress is already gone, though. We know that at a minimum. All right, so there's the Adanto Vanguard. And like I said, like I think it was right to not take the Crypt out of this because of the fact that like we know we can wheel a card and have one more playable for our deck, which to me it's like it's a meta game 2-for-1, right? Like it's before I even play, I have 2 cards. Now the 2 cards I have may be actively like in the right deck worse than Mana Crypt, but I don't think Mana Crypt was doing enough work for me in this deck because the 4s like tend to be your caps, like they're like the top end of your deck. So, ostensibly for this deck, if that's the truth, like we'd only be using Crypt's mana to make or to cast additional spells. And really the only thing I liked it for is resolving and locking up a sort of Fire and Ice 2 turns early, which is really like the best application of it. I guess there are some turns now, knowing now that we have Smuggler's Copter, that you can play Smuggler's Copter on 1 plus a 1-drop, and then have like a Smuggler's Copter attacking on turn 2, which is pretty cool too. But Crypt really goes in like a more powerful deck than this one. This deck's power is not in its cards; it's in its strategy. Lidvala, sure. Well, no, Mana Confluence. I'm going to take Temple Garden here. But his strength is really more in his strategy, and his strategy is curve. It's using the curve, the power of the curve. So even if you have some weaker cards, just going 1, 2, 3 into 4, is very powerful, just in general. And sometimes that's enough to beat the A plus B decks. That's kind of one of the things that I always, sing the praises for this deck. Now, are you going to beat the best draws on like Sneak and Show decks? Probably not. I like Rexage quite a bit. And there's a possibility we could splash into green and or black. Faith's Fetters is just too weak. I'm going to pick up the Rexage. Alright, well, Nissa is a stretch. I'll pick up Tusk. There is a world in which we go into like, alright, Lodestone Golem. There was another card in this pack. It was the 2/2. Alright, there's Bob. Bob did wheel, so we got lucky there. It was really between that and a red card. That Steamkin or something like that, whatever that card's called. Alright, Gideon of the Trials is probably going to be the pickup here. There's also a Marsh Flats. Gideon will probably wheel. There's not another white card, but I don't think anyone else is drafting white. Like, heavily at least. I'm going to pick up Marsh Flats, actually, because I do want to play the $10 Scholar or the Dark Confidant, and it opens up 2 cards for me. Alright, well, there's a Mana Vault here, but again, same argument as we had for Crypt. Banisher Priest will wheel, like, 95%. So I think the Swords of Plowshare is one of the best removal spells in the game, and like you generally want like 2 to 3 removal spells. We know we're going to get Banisher Priest back, which is good enough. Knight Errant, Elspeth Knight Errant is just, oh wow. And Gideon? Which do I think is better? I don't really know, guys. You know what? I think Elspeth is better in the dark because she can give flying. So if I'm playing against creature decks, I think Elspeth's better. And if I'm playing against control, I think Gideon's just better because he's a faster clock. I'm going to hope to wield the other Gideon, though. And I don't really want to play this dude. He's okay. Like, the Lodestone Golem is fine. So we have basically 3 more slots to play with. We have Mox Sapphire, which I think I'm going to count as a land because you don't want to flood in this deck. Although we do have Tax to kind of help finish that. I'm really glad I picked up a Marsh Flats because I do think that allows me to play 1 Swamp. Okay, Leonin Relic Warder, great. Mutavault, also very good. So there's a chance that the Leonin Relic Warder wheels, I just take Mutavault here. I think that's correct. I think I take Mutavault here because it gives me an unwrathable threat that, it's a free card, basically. Honor the Pure, Spectral Procession. I'm at 12 critters right now. I'm not quite sure. I mean, Spectral Procession has less likelihood to wield than Honor the Pure. Honor the Pure is just pretty bad, right? Or I can take Orzhov Signet to fix for black, but I don't think I'm about that life. I think I'm going to take the creature, essentially the creature, quote-unquote, the Spectral Procession, because it's just 3 1/1s, which is fine. But I may or may not play it. Thalia of note we have not seen. She may not have been opened, or we just may not have seen her yet. What do I think of this deck so far? I think this deck's actually not bad. Like, the Mana Confluence is probably a little unnecessary, but I think it's worth playing in a deck that wants to splash Dark Confidant and Tidehollow Scholar. Okie doke. Well, we did not pick up... It's not Ravages of War. So, if you've watched my videos enough, you know that I do not like playing two Armageddon effects. I also do not like Batterskull. I mean, I like Batterskull as a card when you have Stoneforge Mystic, but I just don't have her. And I think the likelihood of getting her is pretty low at this point, and I already have something to find if I do pick her up. I'm going to take Hero, but I'm going to tentatively put it in my sideboard because I'm not a huge fan of Hero in this format. I think the card's sweet. It's a beating. Inquisition's great, but I think I'm going to take the playable 2/1 flyer that gives me Wrath Proofing against the decks that may play Wrath. Of course, obviously, Toxic Deluge, a card we just passed up on, which we would not play in this deck, but which decks that want to beat our deck would play, just went by. Alright, there's a Godless Shrine, which I really want to take, but this pack cannot wheel anything, so I'm going to take Palace Jailer, because this card is awesome. It just smokes, folks. And I have 3 ways to fix for it, plus a land tax. I guess I have 4 ways to fix for black, if I need to. I mean, land tax, obviously, you need to work a little bit more to get a fix off of. What do I think of this deck? I think this deck's actually looking pretty good. We're at 28 with 5. I want 1 more playable, ostensibly, and I have Hero if I want to play it. If I had to play right now with this deck, I'd play Hero. is my fourth 4-drop, but I'm hoping that I wheel actually both the Gideons. I'll probably wheel one of the two Gideons. I think the 3-mana Gideon is more likely to wheel than the 4-mana one, which can be played in control. And then I'll probably wheel Honor the Peer as well. We're not going to see Thalia this draft, unfortunately, because I do like to have her. Yeah, here's this Gideon, which I was saying I think it would wheel. I do like this card. It's actually kind of a taxi card. It actually hoses Storm. If they're trying to kill you with like Brain Freeze or Tendrils, you can't lose to it. All right, Banisher Priest. That is my third removal spell. Our second removal. Oh, third. Yeah, because I have Palace Jailer. Am I going to play Sword in this deck? I don't know yet. We may sideboard into it because it's not a creature and it's a 5-mana spell essentially, so it's a little slow. I have 2 swords actually for this deck, which is pretty cool. All right, Knight of Autumn. I think if you have the best of mana fixing, you can play 3-color with essentially 3-color Hate Bears. And I like Knight of Autumn in that deck, as well as Rex Sage. It's kind of part of the rationale for picking them up. I suppose I could try to off Marsh Flats, play Temple Garden, but I think that's a little thin. And I don't want to play a basic Forest, and having a basic Swamp in a 3-color deck feels a little thin. All right, Leonin Relic Warder came back, which I'm very happy about. So now I'm a little overplayables, but we're going to go to a build here relatively soon after we're done drafting. Did Gideon come back? I think Gideon was the next pack. He may have. I mean, like, no one's really drafting white heavily. The only card that we saw come out was the 2-mana guy that goes Eternal with Time Walk on 6 mana, which maybe someone picked him up for that reason, because they're playing, like, Jeskai Time Walk. I don't know. Kind of an interesting combo. I think it's a little janky, but 6 mana is a lot, you know. But, you know, if you get it, you get it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get the Gideon, but I think that's okay. I think this is the pack with Gideon. Well, I'm going to take this card. I want anyone else who's playing at my table, I want them to have a good deck. Someone can have Carnage Tyrant. Enjoy. Card is not good. Well, it's fine. It's not good in cube, though, I don't think. I don't like it in this cube. I think I have had it as a sideboard card. That's kind of a late Elves of Deep Shadow. That card's better than that, I think. All right, guys. I'm going to take a quick restroom break, and then I will be right back, and we'll build this deck up. It's pretty much built. We have to remove some cards, actually. But I'll be back momentarily, and we'll continue our play of this draft. Be right back, guys. All right, guys, back. So the question, I think, becomes here, what cards do we want to cut? I think maybe Winter Orb we cut. I do think this is... all right, 1 Black Source, 10, yep. I do think this is a 15 lander because it has the Mox, has land tax. I think we're fine at 15. And we have only 3 4s. I'm still not sure, and the pick's going to haunt me a little bit, on what 4 we wanted between Elspeth Nighterrant and Gideon. I don't know. Because I do already have a decent number of like small flyers. I have Remorseful Cleric and Selfless Spirit, which are going to be in Smuggler's Copter, which are going to be kind of your go-to cards for beating the fair green decks, like the green ramp decks, because you need to continue to attack throughout the game, and those cards allow you to do that. And the green decks tend to play a little differently. I mean, they're still pretty quick, but the green decks, the way they function is they don't do damage incrementally like the white decks do. They do a lot of damage all at once. So, well, you're doing like, 2 damage, 4 damage, 6 damage, 8 damage dead. They're doing like, 1 damage, maybe 2, maybe none for a turn, and then like all of it at once, like Craterhoof Behemoth or something like that. Or just like a big dude that just like ends the game if he gets to attack. So they're like generally like a turn or 2 slower than you are, but you need to be able to push damage in the early stages of the game. So I still think Elspeth is defensible because she can allow a bigger guy like I guess I have Mirran Crusader too. I guess green's not really a huge worry. I have Gideon, which stymies green. Banisher Priest is great against green. Palace Jailer is good against green. Never mind. My green matchup's not bad. Maybe I just wanted... maybe I wanted Gideon. Looking at this deck now, I mean, that's... Some of that, because I didn't have all of the cards that I'm assessing now, some of that is probably, it's post-hoc rationalization, or results-based, because I do think Gideon's just a faster clock, and against, like, combo and, like, control, Gideon just tends to be better. Elspeth's still good against both, but Gideon's just faster. I mean, it's, 7 power the turn. It's a 7 power, 4 mana, dude, basically. Spread out between 2 bodies. I'm not going to start a sword. I'm not going to start a Lodestone Golem. I could, but I think I'll sideboard into those. I mean, Lodestone Golem could come in against certain matchups. I don't think I want to start it, though. And I definitely don't want to start Hero. Hero is just a beatdown. So, let's jump in the queue, and see what we face. And let me turn my volume down. My headset is awfully loud. Alright. Have fun, man. This hand is kind of weak, but it has land tax on the draw. Sure. I'm going to keep this, but it's speculative. I have 2 draw steps, essentially, to get like a 2-drop. Or a 1-drop. I'm going to fetch because I really don't want to hit lands. I want to thin my deck as much as possible. And I already have my fix in hand. So the damage may be relevant, but generally not against blue-black lands. So land tax, you can Spell Pierce it if you like, but it's actually not going to hurt me. I would rather them Spell Pierce this than like Spectral Frost, for instance. And Subtle War was a fine pickup. I would have been happier with a 2-drop, but Subtle War's fine. Now, if they play into this, which I assume they will, they're going to want to. And if they don't, I'll just play a Subtle War and start hitting with a 1/1. And try to draw into one mana cost things. People sometimes play, like, especially like newer players, and I don't know this player at all. I'm not saying they are new. They could be better than me or way better than me. I don't know. But sometimes players will play really oddly around land tax. Like, they won't play lands into it, even in, like, Vintage Cube. And they could not even be considering that. They could be considering, hey, do I play Black Lotus and storm this dude off this turn? So, I don't know. I don't know. Alright, they don't play a land into it. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. 1-drop go. I'm not going to play a land into it either. I'm not in a rush to get to Brimaz. Like, they have to do something before I do, and I'll draw more 1-drop attackers in my deck. I have Kithian. I guess Mom's not a great 1-drop attacker, and I have a good 2-drop now, so if I draw lands next turn, then I will, I'll just play a Smuggler's Copter out on 2. I won't get to pump the Stud of War, unfortunately. I mean, they're going to discard this turn, so I assume they have to play either Artifact mana or a land. But again, I don't know what they're on. I mean, Darkslick Shores can mean a lot of things. All right, Vamp Tutor. So are they trying to reanimate? That could be spooky. It could be reanimating, getting like Entomb plus reanimate. I don't know. All right, I think this calls for playing a land out. I'm going to play this out right now because I do want to get a Smuggler's Copter activation next turn to see if I can find some disruption for whatever they're up to. I'm also not going to hang out. If I have a proactive play to make on 1 mana, I'll do it, but I didn't there. So I think it makes the most sense just to use my mana up. All right, they're going to discard something. All right, they're reanimating. So I do think here, as opposed to pumping the Stud of War up or playing something main 1, I'm just going to forego the 1 damage, and I'm going to leave my mana open and try to Smuggler's Copter into Disruption here. Okay, well, I'm going to discard this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting reanimated on next turn. But at a minimum, I can play this gentleman out right here and say go. And he does account for quite a bit of damage, so he's not horrible. My opponent's probably just short on mana here. Now, if they have, like, Reanimate, they're going to take, what, 8 damage off this dude? Alright, so they could have just Animate Dead here, which is also quite good. Okay, so they go down to 6. Well, that was one of the better draws in my deck. So, unless they have, like, Force Spike, I think I just win the game on the spot here, because I have a 6-power, 4-power attacker. Alright, do you have Force of Will, sir? If they do, they're still obviously in this game very much so. If they don't, they probably lose. Okay, so cool. We did draw into the answer that we needed. So they're on Reanimator. They have Reanimate. There are some enchantment-based reanimation effects. Huh. What do I have against this plan? I have Swords to Plowshares. I have Mother of Runes the Flyer to block that thing. I have Revoker to stop like Gristlebrands. I have Discard in the form of Tidehollow Sculler. I have Leonin Relic Warder, which can stop enchantment-based reanimation, and I have Remorseful Cleric to stop that. I have Banisher Priest, which is pretty good against Reanimator. Gideon's good against Reanimator. Palace Jailer I like. Geddon, meh. So I don't want to sideboard anything. Is Disenchant better than, like, Geddon, for instance? I don't think so. I think Geddon's still better. Spectral Pross is kind of weak. Maybe I just want to Disenchant instead. let's think here. So there's Necromancy, Animate Dead. What other enchantment-based reanimation effects are there? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. And there's Reanimate at 1, Exhume at 2. And then there's like the instant speed reanimation effects like Makeshift Mannequins 4, Shallow Graves 2, and then there's Corpse Dance, which is the buyback 3-1. It's 5 if you don't. And there's Liliana's Death's Majesty, Recurring Nightmare. I mean, that's respectively 5 and 3. I think we stick with what we got, guys. I mean, they could go sort of Feast and Famine, but that's going to actually enable them. Sort of Fire and Ice, meh. Disenchant's like the best option I can think of, but I think the deck's pretty well set up to beat Reanimator. I mean, it's not the best, obviously, but I mean, it's not horrible either. Like, it's got some game against Reanimator. It's definitely not dead in the water. White tends to be a decent color against Reanimator because you have mana-efficient ways to answer multiple cards. Because, I mean, that Sphinx was a multiple card combo. Okay, I think, again, I'm going to keep this. It's a little suspect, but it's still land tax on turn 1, and if they don't want to play lands, they don't have to. I have Smuggler's Copter for 2, and I'm on the draw this time, so I'm going to keep this. Hopefully we don't get, like, Duressed or something. Duressed, it wouldn't seem to be that great against us. All right, so Island. Nope, they're going to play Ponder. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to turn 1 land tax again on the draw this time, which I definitely like. I wonder if I lead on Concealed Courtyard. Yeah, I probably can, because if they have Wasteland, I'd rather them actually use it, because I'm not in a hurry with this hand. I just want to kind of develop the hand. This is a little more suspect of a keep, but it has all of its mana. It's got tax on the draw. I think it's hard to toss it back. Okay, now it has a good 3-drop, which is cool, because I have a 2 and a 3. And ostensibly, I'm going to be drawing a bunch of lands. They could daze it if they want, but I think daze would be good enough for me. I'd be happy with it. Alright, so land. Entomb is the card we do not want to see. Entomb can lead to some busted stuff. But I'm getting a lot of lands out of my deck here. Get the Swamp. Get 2 plains. I'm always going to probably max this out. Alright, Palace Jailer is a good pickup here. I probably should have done Mutavault, but I know what I'm playing. Next turn I'm playing the Bramaz. I'm going to discard a plains here. Well, yeah, plains, because if I do get Wastelanded, I want to have access to my other color. My black. Alright, so Vampiric Tutor. And then next turn, we have the land tax Smuggler's Copter combo. If this doesn't get countered in some way, they could instant speed draw and then, like, force it. Ditch one of these. Next turn, we'll get to start turning some of these lands into cards off of Bramaz. Unless he gets countered. If he does, it sucks. I mean, I could play around that by, like, if they don't do anything. Alright, so this. If they don't do anything next turn, I could play around that by playing Mutavault and activating it. What is this? Like a... Oh, this is... Oh, Liliana Death's Majesty. Okay. Okie doke. Cool. So 2 lands go to the yard. Part of me kind of wants to Relic Warder the Crypt. And I think I'm going to. Despite it being a damage source, it's a lot of mana to have. It could have been more correct to be mana efficient and use Bramaz here. Alright, yeah, get out of here. I don't need that right now. I got Swamp in my hand. I don't need my mana fix. So at least it's not the deck anymore. It was not an optimal draw off of Smuggler's Copter there, but it's out of the way. I don't know if they'll attack me or not. They may not. They may. Because they missed off Liliana. Although this is -3, so they could reanimate next turn with this, but it's going to force them to lose it. So if they go like Entomb or like Buried Alive next turn, off of all their mana that they have available right now. And then minus this thing to reanimate something, I could still Palace Jailer it, unless it was like Iona. Iona would be problematic. I don't know if I could beat Iona right now, and that may have been a rationalization for playing out the Bramaz. Just get rid of swamps here. Go ahead, my friend. The hope is here they attack with the zombie and expect to block with the other zombie, because I do want to kill their Liliana Death's Majesty before. Alright, so just more lands, so they have yet to get a reanimation target in the yard. Attack me, please. Race me. Nope, they don't want to race. You know what? No, I shouldn't have played my land first either. I'm going to tap the Leonin Relic Warder for this job. The cool thing here is, I mean, they probably have another reanimation effect in hand. But Liliana cannot reanimate next turn, which is pretty cool. But I should look at my draw step off of this first. Okay, we'll ditch this. We'll hold up Swords to Plowshares here. They can counter this guy. Like Remand him or Mana Leak him or something. Nope. Because he's going to be generally harder for black decks to deal with. Alright, do you have like Gifts Ungiven? Okay, Snapcaster into Vampiric Tutor. Okie doke. Well, I suppose one of the things that could happen to us here is an instant speed reanimation effect could happen. I assume this targeted, Vamp Tutor. That's the only castable. Okie doke. And then, what do we want to draw next turn? 1-drop, I think. So I can Palace Jailer and then into 1-drop. And I'll probably Palace Jailer whatever they reanimate and hope that it's not like an instant speed reanimation effect. They're going to draw whatever they draw, though, right? So they're vamping for what? Like a Damnation, maybe? Could be a Damnation. I don't know. Alright, go ahead, my friend. Okie doke. So Kitesail Freebooter and Reanimate went the way of the yard, which are two things they also did not want to discard, but they have a bunch of 2/2s, but they don't really have great attacks. Into... Alright, this thing. This thing can target the Leonin Relic Warder. Oh, that. Okay, cool. So now I still want to draw a 1-drop. Alright, that's good enough. Undo. We're going to tap this. I think we're going to do this right here. They can get the Hostage Taker again, which is fine, I think. I think I do have to take out the Lily this turn, or do I? How bad is Lily for me, really? Can I attack? Oh, it's Summoning Sick. Alright, well, I'm doing this, then I committed to it. I'm a dummy. I forgot I just got it back. That's fine. They can block it with their Snappy Caster. That is okay. 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 More lands in the yard. Okay, they take the Monarchy now, but I'm going to take it back next turn. So they're going to get a free card off of this, and they'll get to Hostage Taker or something. But I think Hostage Taker, alright. Yeah, they have to cast it at sorcery speed so I can just plow this thing here. And I still have Swords to Plowshare, so what do you take here? Probably still take the Smuggler's Copter because it can block my Mirran Crusader. I don't think it's Palace Jailer. I think that would be wrong. I mean, if they take Palace Jailer, I'm like ecstatic because I just get to steal this right back, the Monarchy right back. They could take the Leonin Relic Warder as well, but I don't think that matters. I mean, it's probably Smuggler's Copter, my guess. All right, well, it's your choice here, man. Not optimally played by me. I acknowledge fully that I made a mistake with Smuggler's Copter. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh, it's it's an artifact. It has Summoning Sickness too. So I screwed this play up because I could have double blocked or blocked two things and then pierce something. All right, so okay. If they want to counter this as well, I think that's okay. Okay. Well, it does leave me shields down if they have a reanimation effect, but they don't have anything in the yard, and they haven't really done anything. Okay, draw your card. I'm going to play this Gentleman out right here. Alright, I've got 5 mana available, so I probably do 3 and 2. What is the proper 3, though? Probably Brimaz. And then probably Selfless Spirit to avoid Damnation. It doesn't avoid Toxic Deluge. But Toxic Deluge also leaves them with very little, and I still have the Monarchy. So, yeah, I think this is correct. Yeah, I don't think there's a reasonable choice in the 2s that I'm going to play. I don't think Adanto, Vanguard, or Porcelain Legionnaire even remotely is close to the right answer. Selfless Spirit, because when it flies, and 2, it has a relevant effect against like a Damnation or another many for 1 card that get my opponent back into this game. So one of the cool things about this matchup, alright, so they are pure Esper, is that you kind of saw the power of tax with Smuggler's Copter. Alright, the Scarab God, that's probably fine. The card doesn't really do a ton against me, I don't think. You don't really have great attacks. I have what in my graveyard? Nothing? Well, that should just lock them out of the game. So I'm going to play Mother of Runes here. And I cannot play another card, is that correct? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to crew off of this. Say, hey, good. Because I'm not going to be able to protect it next turn. And I want to look for a land here of all things. So I'm going to attack with these 2 because they cannot be blocked. Okay. I think we discard Spectral Procession. And I'm going to put 1 mana into this dude. Do I have any more white mana in my deck? I don't know. It's probably smarter to play around Daze here. So we're going to Armageddon, rather. Blow up all of the lands and say, hey, figure it out, my man. All right, any order. So I am landless at this point, I believe. Yeah, Confluence is out. I have 1 fetch land left in my deck, but that does not produce mana. So I am winning off of what I got. That's it. And I feel like I probably am. Because... oh, they do have a bunch of zombies, so they get to drain me for a little bit. And they're going to look for a land here. Suppose they could find something they're looking for, but they are very dead next turn. They have 7 life, and I have 7 power. Well, I have much more than 7 power in attackers. Actually, why did I attack with myself with Spirit? I guess it doesn't matter that much. What really matters is that I got him down to 7, so I could, kill the one the following turn. The extra 2 damage isn't probably that relevant. Okay. Cool. Well, I would not say I played optimally in the last game there, but the deck did get to do its thing. It showed some of its power. Kind of got to do all of the things that it wants to be doing. Yeah, this hand's keepable on the play. It doesn't have a 1-drop, but it has a 2. It has both colors. It's got some Graveyard Hate. It's got a Mirran Crusader, and then it's got a Palace Jailer against Fair decks to kind of come back. And Palace Jailer is not horrendous against combo because it just lets you draw cards. All right. Well, looks like a fast start from our opponent. Search for Azcanta. Cool. Well, Remorseful Cleric tends to be okay against that. I think here we do fetch for white because we don't want to draw more lands. So I'm going to fetch. I know I'm going on to 19, but I don't think against a deck that's playing Search for Azcanta it's going to be that relevant. They're probably some sort of blue-red twin deck or something along those lines. So we will see what happens. That means Mirran Crusader is not bound to be as good. Okay, Venser, yep. Probably goes the way of the yard. If you're looking for lands especially. Alright, so land. You have like a Dak of Fadon. I believe Klasm is in this cube, so I'm going to be a little prone to Klasm. Okay. I do not have much interaction, so if you want to kill this thing, I'll just blow up their graveyard and take away 1 card. So turn slower to get on to Search for Azcanta, the Search for Azcanta plan. Okay, no non-land this turn. It's like Vendilion Clique. Okay, cool. Cool, dude. Probably take the Mirran Crusader, but I mean, my chances of drawing something live are actually not horrible, and they may leave me with it because they may have Burn in hand. Palace Jailer, not as good against blue-red because they have a lot of flash creatures and they have hasters, they have flash. Okay, well, land was bad. You have Daze. Daze for Daze. Do I attack into it? Probably not. I probably save it because they have Search for Azcanta active, and I think it may be relevant. They don't ditch, so it was either land or gas. Like a good Planeswalker. 4 mana is where Chandra Torch of Defiance becomes live, and is pretty good. Yep, there we go. That is kind of the card I was thinking of that I really didn't want to see, but I am seeing right now. Yep, burn him off. Now I kind of want to draw removal for the Vendilion Clique. They're definitely not attacking because Chandra is a good card engine. Alright, well, the draw has been pretty stinky. We did keep a more land at hand. I think the hand was worth keeping, though. I do think 2, 3, 4 is pretty good. But we've drawn, 3 lands? I mean, if you count the Vendilion Clique, which is bad. That's bad for this deck actively. That's why we're playing 15, so it doesn't happen as often. But it may be happening here. They're going to start getting free cards or damage off Chandra. I do need to deal with the Chandra. My guess would be on 3 cards. They probably have some amount of removal. I don't know if they'll spend it on Remorseful Cleric. I mean, although it does kind of stymie the Search for Azcanta, Search is still doing some good work. And they do have the Planeswalker in play, which kind of stinks. Alright, Mountain. Alright, cool. That's off the top of your deck. Okay, Jace is annoying. So what do I need to have happen here? Alright, remove the top 3 cards. I'm going to give you Emrakul or the other stuff. I mean, if they have Through the Breach or something like that, it could get us pretty bad. I do need to pull up the game log. So they're probably a through the breach. Yeah, okay. They probably have through the breach or sneak attack, which is rough for us. We don't really want to see that. That could allow us to get them pretty good, though. I think here I just hold lands, guys. I don't think I play more lands out because I am an Armageddon deck, and yeah, I mean I'm probably not two spelling in the next couple of turns unless they like time twister us or something like that. All right, Chandra. So they have a lot of planeswalkers and probably a through the breach plan. They could through the breaches here and try just to win the game. Oh, don't be like, all right, well I have to do this, and then I have to hope demise. I have to counter this thing. Well, not counter it, but force them to pay a mana for it, and then attempt to get... Oh, wait, no, they have Chandra Torch of Defiance. Doesn't matter. They have to pay it, but they have Chandra Torch of Defiance, so I just lose the game. Yep, they got me. Now, they would have been kicking themselves if that was not through the breach. Am I just dead here? Not per se. Not per se. So, I mean, is it worth playing out? Well, with my hand the way it is right now, probably not the worst. Oh, wait, am I dead? Yeah, I'm dead. Never mind. I'm just dead. I'm just dead. I have to concede this. I'm dead. I look at my life total again. I'm like, oh yeah, they have a 3-1 in play. All right, Disenchant saw two valid targets for it. Winter Orb is probably pretty good against this deck. Spectral Pros seems a little bit slow. We really just need to draw better. Geddon's still good. Do I want to go with a Hero Bladeholder or a Lodestone Golem? Probably not, but Sword of Fire and Ice is probably also quite fine. What would I cut for it, though? I don't know. Maybe we don't go with Winter Orb. No, Winter Orb's still fine. We're going to try like this. I'm going to cut Winter Orb and try this. I think this is better. Okay, so this hand's a keep. It's got turn 1 threat, off of fetch land, into Bob. Alright, they're going out to 5 cards. Bob is strong. I mean, like, obviously if they have, like, Pyroclasm, like, which they could very well have in their sideboard, they showed us also the big Chandra. That could be very bad for us, but I'm going to keep this hand, I mean, just because it has Bob in it, and I think that's going to be generally pretty good, unless they have early removal. And any, like, one-drop removal they have, they'll probably spend on this Gentleman right here. They also have the Mutavault, which is fine. Alright, Mountain. Alright, well, they have the Mox again, and the Search again. Well, I'm not feeling too happy about that. I think I just play Bob here and force them to have an answer for him next turn. I would like to get Smuggler's Copter down too, just to filter my hand out, but I think this is probably smarter, because I want to at least get one card off of it. And if they have to use their turn using Search for His Content to find a card, I think that's better than, not. And then we have a pretty free Mutavault cast next turn, so unless we draw a 3-drop, we're probably dropping the Smuggler's Copter, I think. Okay, Oblivion Stone is pretty slow. I'm glad to see they're playing that, because that card does not look good. Alright, Smuggler's Copter. So now I have some filtration going on. Alright, Splinter Twin is gone. So they have some cool combos in their deck. They have a way to answer my dudes. They could. I'm going to feel better when I have Selfless Spirit down to, like, stymie some of their stuff. They didn't play a land this turn? Alright, that seems good to me. So they're looking for landage. I think the right answer is to play Selfless Spirit out, use it to activate the Smuggler's Copter. So now my stuff cannot die to burn-based removal, or really removal. So I'm going to crew off of this thing. Now, if they have fast mana, they could play out like... they could play out and use Emrakul next turn off of Sneak Attack, but they would need like another mana source. So we'll attack with all of this nonsense. Alright, they have something. Okay. If they show Intel, the Emrakul, I feel good about that. But, alright, blue mana. Cool. Why wouldn't you have done that to try to counter my spell? Vendilion Clique. Okay. Targeting me? Targeting me. Okay, interesting. I would have figured it would have targeted them. I'm going to take Palace Jailer or Gideon here. I mean, they're still giving this thing up. Okay, well, let's do our look here. I'm gonna get rid of the swamp probably. Yes. Well, land tax is not looking too hot right now, so I mean, Mana Confluence is pretty bad too. I'll keep tax around. Why not? And you want to block? I'm going to do this, make it indestructible. Maybe that was premature on my part, but I do kind of want to keep my copter around because it is indestructible. And now, alright, now I have an indestructible Bob as well, so that's kind of nice. And everything else is not a threat anymore. So, I think I have lethal next. I don't think I know I have lethal next turn. They're quite dead next turn. All right, so they found their island. You have like a Chandra TOD. That wouldn't really do anything here. Maybe like a Jace. I don't know. Okay. Cool. So we found out if our opponent gets mana screwed, they get in a lot of trouble. Is Disenchant wanted? And Mox. They have Search. We know they have Sneak. Sneak's not really stoppable by Disenchant if they play it correctly, though. It's really not. I think it's a rejam, guys. I mean, I don't mind the hero in this matchup specifically, because 4 is just harder to remove than 3 is with red base removal. But they look like they're pretty all in on the combo, or like fairly all in on the combo. I mean, they're playing Manamorphose to fix for it, and yeah, this hand, like initially I was like, oh wow, this looks pretty good, but I don't think it's good enough. This is a mull. Oh wow. Okay, reluctantly. Bottom. I think going to 5 is just too low. I mean, I'm probably losing this game, though, I think after seeing that. No more Mox, no Mox. Alright, cool. Alright, I want to fetch here. I don't think I do because there's a possibility I want to swamp. Even though I would really like to thin my deck, I think I want to leave up Swords to Plowshares and then draw to a 2-drop next turn. Best draw. Or, like, land tax is acceptable. Because, like, then I can just, like, thin my deck. But 2-drop's probably better. Okay? Well, this is probably not going to stick. There's no Stifle in the format. There is, however, Disallow, but they can't cast that right now. So, Bob, go. Probably get burned off at instep. No, wow. Okay, that's a pretty big game. Now, we have STP to stop. I don't even know if I cast. If they do nothing here, I don't think I... Okay, they have something. This Chandra TOD. Okay, Flame Slash is fine. The big question here is, do I even play out... No, I don't. I play this guy out right here and leave up Swords to Plowshares. Because the big threat here is we know they're on a Splinter Twin deck, and there are 2 very good 3-mana flash creatures that counter, that kill me here. So if they try to go for it here, which I think is a big risk, they can go for it. I will kill it like automatically. All right. What do you target, my planes? That's why you do it. Because I do not want to get Splinter Twinned out. Like, that's just a miserable way to lose. And if I can prevent it, which I could with this hand, I'll do it. Turn off. All right, cool. I'm going to get hit for a bunch here, but that's fine. I can prevent this with Gideon next turn. Gideon's pretty good against Dragon. I guess they could Splinter Twin the Dragon and kill my Gideon. That's a good reason not to have done that. Well, I guess I can't stop it. Maybe they don't have Twin, though, too. I mean, that's also another possibility. Play around Miscalc. Do you have a counterspell? Banisher, quite good. They can still kill me with sneak attack, right? Or through the breach. That would be dead. So this is 5, 7, 4 is 11. So I banish your priest, the Thunderball, and I win next turn as long as I don't get disrupted. I think that's the way we're going here. We'll see, though. All right. Don't kill me this turn. All right. Arcane Artisan. Cool. All right, so now I think the stakes have changed. I'm still going to attack first, but I think I need to get rid of the Arcane Artisan here. Because if they have Emrakul in hand, that's just a beating. Alright, we're going to see if this sticks, and if it does, I'll probably equip a sword to it. Because this is another way to get Emrakul into play. Alright. Put the sword on it to protect it. If this doesn't work, that sucks, but... Alright. Alright. Well, can you do it? I do think they have Emrakul in hand, so did you end up hitting the answer card? Did you hit the... Okay, sweet. So they did not hit sneak attack. So I think we got a little lucky there. I'm not going to lie. Opponent's deck looked pretty sweet. I don't know if they had Through the Breach as well, but they certainly had two ways to get Emrakul into play very easily. And we managed to, I think, play the best we could around the combos they had shown us. So I don't think we faded. I think we played the best we could around Splinter Twin. I do not think they had it, because I think it was more correct for them just to put it on the dragon, tap the dragon, make a new dragon, and then attack my Gideon to death. So they had, a threat, because they weren't winning the game by just waiting. Well, they could have, but their best line of winning was just making a 5-5. We obviously got hooked up. That hand was not good. I do think it was right to keep it on, I think it was 6. Because I think going to 5 on a deck like White Weenie is just rough. The reason you play the deck is for consistency. And if you're going to 5, it's just going to be a lot more challenging. And, you could end up with just another bad hand. Yeah, this hand's keepable. It's not the best. I like our opponent's name, the Luxac. I love it. Okay, green deck. Alright, go. Probably going to play out Selfless Spirit or Porcelain Legionnaire next turn. I'm not quite sure yet. Okay, Wall of Roots. Alright, so very easily the Flyer next turn, I think. Okay, tons of dudes. Okay. Well, not happy about this start of my opponent, but if they have a big mana dead-end draw, that could be good for us. I mean, they can attack for 2 next turn. Alright, Crater Hoof would just be game over. Alright, they have a 6-drop. Range tournament, okay. Alright, get hit for a bunch. Cool. Do I attack here? I think I have to, unfortunately. Okay, go ahead, my friend. They're going to pay for their Deranged Hermits. Okay, Forest. What else have you got? Oh, more things and some more stuff. All right, Warm Parts Dice, whatever. They're down to 0 cards. Okay, cool. Oop, nope. Undo. Oopsies. Alright, down to a Vanguard. And kind of hoping they just miss. Land is the best draw for us. Alright, Lotus Cobra's fine. Everything. Okay. Again, not phenomenal draws here. You finally draw something big? Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to sack it and try to draw into more things and stuff. Okay? You draw into a card you can play right now. No attacks. All right. Well, I really want to have that card. All right, so can they kill me next turn with their attacks? It's 1. They get through for 3 points of damage. Need to attack. Actually, they don't because I have the Mutavault to block. I really need to get like a white mana source and like Silverblade Paladin down because that would be the bomb. I shouldn't have 6, but yeah. Alright, Kythian, yep, whatever. I need to keep them under my thumb here. Again, double strike would still be great. Alright, they got something. Is it Craterhoof? If it's like Green Sun Zenith or Craterhoof, I lose. And that is acceptable. Is it? Well, what is this? Expel. So it is probably Craterhoof. Yep, 8. You have the hoof. I assume they do. Their deck looks like it's probably a hoof deck. I don't think this is actually a horrible matchup for us. It's not looking good here. Oh, just this? Whatever. I mean, I may not be dead to that either. I mean, it depends on if they have lands in there. They have land. Cool. That's not going to do it. So I get in for 4. Yeah, I need one more turn. Wait, they don't have +1/+1 counters on their plants. I mean, alright, so let's do the math on this. So we attack for 4. Oh, wait. Attack for 2. Let's like hope they don't have a land, right? Let's just say they don't have a land. Can I win? I'm at 6. I could take 5. If they have a land, we're probably just dead. Well, let's do the math here. If they have only 1 land drop next turn, let's say I attack with 1 dude, 1 flyer, and then hope to mise a plains on the following turn to give my other dude double strike. This still doesn't work, right? It's a squirrel. It's a lie because of Deranged Hermit. He was wondering why. Okay. So I think what we have to do here, so if we block 2 things next turn, we take 6 if they have 1 thing. F, man. Ugh. So savage. Because it's so close, right? I have to mise. We're attacking with both. Get in there, use. They have to, because like I can't. If I put him to 6, he's not dead next turn. To 1 plains into Silverblade Paladin. That's the break. So land. All right, let's make sure they make the right attack. They may attack with Deranged Hermit. They may not attack with Deranged Hermit. All right, go. If they use the attack all option. All right, you got me. Do you have me? Yeah, you got me. I think. Hold up here. Or do they? No, the plants. So, but wait. F. If I could kill... No, if I don't kill the Avenger, that doesn't work. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm just dead, guys. I don't think there was another draw for me in the deck, though. I think I had to go for it. If I had them a little lower, I could have possibly done it. I don't think this is a horrible matchup. I think it's actually pretty good. Sword of Feast and Famine is obviously going to be very good in this matchup. I think Armageddon's horrendous. All right, go. It's just really 1 card replacement. I don't think our matchup's bad, but we have to keep differently. Yeah, hand's good. Keep. I got a first striker that I'll play on turn 1 because I do want to get an attack off of it. Got turn 2 hand disruption. I mean, I could go... No, I can't go turn 1 hand disruption. So, just going to take the damage here, play out the dude that probably isn't getting blocked next turn, get as much damage out of him as I can, and then probably go for hand disruption next turn. No dork, no dork. If it's no dork, I feel great. Then I get Rofellos. All right, nope, there's dork. It's an option too. Let's see what's going on, though, so we can make a plan here. All right, well, it probably has to be Reclamation Sage. All right, Wall of the Roots. Survival of the Fittest, okay. Okay, yep. Okay, Vivian Reed. Okay, get your Rec Sage back. Cool. You can't survival here. That is unfortunately not a reality. Okay, yeah. I was going to say, I shut survival off because I don't want Ulamog to turn into something relevant. Alright. Disenchant's interesting. Winter Orb, no. Armageddon, no. Revelark is kind of enticing, but, not great. We have some flyers, so maybe the Sword of Fire and Ice is not horrible. No, we're just rejamming it, guys. We're going to bank on our early flyers and, some early beats to kind of get there. Keep. I could think of better hands for this deck, but this is not horrible. One drop, go. Yep. Well, one of the better draws, because if they play a 3-drop or a good 2-drop. Yep. That's bad for me. Alright, don't have a powerful 6. Alright, they got another 5. Alright, Hermie. Cool. Leonin Relic Warder on that thing. Don't pay for your Hermit Druid. Oh, yes. Okay, Lotus Cobra. Two 1-drops, or two 2-drops, I think. And the next turn, Sword, right? Okay, Manglehorn, cool. Yes! Alright, Sword! Sword of Feast and Famine. Own it, Breaking Hearts. Own mono green decks. Since it was printed in what? SOI? I can't remember, guys, when that was printed. New Phyrexia. I think. I don't know. Anyways, guys. Another Death and Taxes deck, at least in this one, because I have not splashed black yet. You got to see me splash black. I think there was a couple games you could have played better. Again, in the blue-red matchup, I think I misplayed one. I mean, I still ended up getting there because it's pretty far ahead, but that's not a reason to misplay. So hopefully you listened to what I had to say and, didn't take to heart my fast and loose play. But this is number 6 for us. I think we went 6-1, 3-0, 6-1, which is a pretty good run. And again, I know I always talk the praises of this deck. Death and Taxes is a good deck in Cube. Now, I mean, if you're just going in for piss and you want to have fun and just draft crazy cards that you never get to play with, maybe you don't play Vintage or Legacy or any Eternal formats to get to play some of the more degenerate stuff that's in the Cube, then maybe you just want to do that, and that's understandable. Just having a fun time is understandable. I tend to try to draft these, not all the time, but I'll generally specify just to draft as well as I can, and try to pick up on signals from it. And I do think more often than not, the signals are always open for this deck. And then sometimes red deck wins. I tried going into that in the draft, into red, because I've done less red decks in this cube than I have white decks. But white tends to be the most open. So even if you just want to force it, like, you'll probably get there. Like, so no one else is probably taking it unless, like, folks catch on. The one thing I'll say about this deck is it is kind of less forgiving than the combination decks. The combination decks, when they run, like, are champions. Like, you don't have to play that hard. You just get there, right? Channel Emrakul is just, it's a thing, and generally you're going to win off of that, like, 95% of the time, maybe more. This decks like this, like mid-range or like the aggro decks in the cube that are good, you got to play tight Magic, generally speaking, throughout the game. And of course, like any deck, you got to get a little lucky. So I hope you guys enjoyed the draft. Actually, no, we lost one to the green deck, right? So no. We actually went. I went 6-2 in games, and then 3-0. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I definitely had fun doing it. Like white decks don't really get old for me because I do think they promote playing well. Not that I always play perfectly, but I think if you play well with it, you can do well with it, and hopefully, I believe this is the third time I've gone 3-0 with a white deck. I've drafted a white base deck 5 times now, because this is Cube Draft number 12, and I've won with it 3 out of 5 times, then gone 2-1 the other time. So, like, if the deck is open, it is good enough. Like, I firmly believe it is good enough. I mean, I don't have, like hundreds of Cube Drafts with specifically Death and Taxes decks. Well, probably over time I do, and I could open up my Excel chart where I keep all my handy-dandy stats for my Cube Draft decks. But because the Cube varies so much, it's really hard to compare Cube results. I know they just did an overhaul of it with, I believe, Paul Cheon helping out. I think they did a pretty good job. Anyways, guys, enough bantering about Cube, but very fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I guess this is my Christmas present to myself, getting to play a late night Cube Christmas Day, because, if you didn't know, I am a huge fan of Cube. I love it. I can't play it as much as some people, because, one, I don't want to get bored with it. Like, I get bored easily with formats, and 2, like, I just don't have all the time in the world. I got kids. So anyways, guys, enjoy, and take care now.